So it looks like it's official. It sounds like the Bay is actually going away. I did end up getting a classic Bay point blanket. First, you know it's a fancy blanket if it comes in a bag. So on this side, we have all the great details. So the Hudson Bay logo, as well as the size. It is a 4-point. When it comes to point blankets, the label is key. Point blankets can come in all different styles, but the most iconic, the most classic is called the multi-stripe, which is what I've got right here. So it's got 4 stripes. You've got indigo, yellow, red, and green. And you may be asking, why is it called a point blanket? Because, of these lines right here. These 4 lines are points. So because there's 4 of them, 4 indicates double. So back in the day when these were first being traded, the size was indicated by the number of lines or points. The more points, the bigger the blanket. The bigger the blanket, the more material, the more valuable the blanket became. These blankets take 6 months to make. They've been produced in England ever since the Hudson's Bay Company started trading point blankets back in 1780. They're made with wool from New Zealand, and yeah, it is still a 6-month process. These blankets have a long and complicated history. The Hudson's Bay Company actually has a beautiful interview series on their YouTube channel, which I highly recommend everyone goes to check out, providing different perspectives on the legacy and the history of this blanket from multiple different viewpoints. One of the super cool things I learned by watching that interview series is that the blankets have been so versatile throughout history. They were used as sails on watercrafts. People used them when they were like hiking, and this was the only thing to keep them warm during those harsh Canadian winters. Maybe most famously, a lot of folks have used the blankets to fashion these beautiful coats. It's just like a blank canvas. And that was the other reason that I wanted to get my own fresh, brand new blanket, because every point blanket kind of has its own history ingrained into it. And I wanted one that was completely mine. And as for my relationship to the blanket and to the Hudson's Bay Company, there's something really interesting to me about the longevity of the fact that an organization that predates Canada has lasted this long, and like this one item, the point blanket, has kind of been there through this entire legacy. And over the past few weeks in trying to track down a blanket of my own, I've really gone down the rabbit hole of learning about the history of the blanket, and in turn learning some more history about the fur trade and about all the complications surrounding that I wasn't necessarily taught in school. Like, to me, this is so much more than just a beautifully made wool blanket. It's history, and history is important. And fun fact, my favorite hats that I wear in almost all of my videos both came from the Bay.